Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors, and today we're going to show you how to change the diaphragm and O-ring on your Stromberg carburetor. Let's take a look at it. Well, we were going to look at it, but you guys probably want to see the tools. I already had somebody complaining that I went too fast and I didn't show the tools. Here's a scribe. We call it a dental tool, but it's a layout scribe. Here's a little screwdriver. Here's the Stromberg adjuster tool here. Here's a long 5/16 bolt. You can take this out of an SU air cleaner. And I've got a long Phillips screwdriver. And then an optional little extra, I've got a drill here with a little brush on the end. So now we're going to take a look at the carburetor. Well, I really stopped the camera because I had to go get another screwdriver because the DPO had removed the top plate here and replaced the screws with slotted screws, which are the correct screws for an earlier model Stromberg, you know, off an old Triumph or something like that. But off a modern MGB, you would expect to find Phillips screws in these locations. So we're going to take our diaphragm off. We're not going to put it back on because you guys can figure out how to do that, because put it back on is the same way as taking it off, only, geez, how can I say this, only backwards. So off comes our diaphragm, which someone has glued on, which is unnecessary. Look at this goo on here. Never ever use goo in the carburetor. Who knows who did this. Here's that little tag on the inside. You can see that tag here, I hope, on the inside, and that fits into the corresponding slot in the top of the piston. And a word to the wise for all Stromberg owners is always, it sounds like a safe sex ad, always carry an extra diaphragm in the car, because Napa doesn't have this, right? And if it's perforated, your car ceases to run. Now let's go ahead and take the needle out. Okay, here we go. We're going to slacken off our grub screw here. It's just a slotted screw. Little screw, give them a couple turns back, not too far. Then put in our Stromberg adjusting tool, and this is an Allen wrench, and this will spin the piston backwards on that, and take our grub screw out. Come on, there's our grub screw, and the needle should just pull out like this. Okay, that's easy. Now we take our oil can and we fill the dashpot with oil. We take a folded rag and turn this guy upside down. Remember that bolt that we had? We take our bolt and we drive out the adjuster screw and lock ring. Do not lose the lock ring. This little tiny guy here, maybe Andrew can come up onto it, but that's the lock ring. You don't want to lose him. Now we can go ahead and take our adjuster screw here and do our very best here and remove the old O-ring, which is, I know it's in the shadows here so you can't see, but this thing is nasty. This old O-ring here, which I've snagged, but I almost can break it. It's so brittle. And that's why you lose the oil. That's why you have to keep topping your oil up. So here's our new O-ring, a number 10, just a number 10 O-ring. So we'll put him on our adjuster screw. And just a minute here. We're going too fast. There we go. He's on our adjuster screw. Now we're going to take our piston and we're going to take the famous University Motors red grease and push that down so that when we push this in, we're pushing the grease out of the way and lubricating it, because we don't want to scratch up or ruin the O-ring more than we have to. Now, here's this lock ring here. Okay, so we're going to put the lock ring on top, and we're going to take our remember our long Phillips screwdriver here? We're going to put him on here and put him and just go and push him right down to the bottom. Now you can take your old needle or a new needle, whatever you might have, and press him into place. And as we press him into place, of course, all the old grease pops out of everywhere, all the grease that we had in there. And now we can go ahead and put our grub screw in, at least part way. And I got a lot of grease in here, so but we don't want to get the grub screw all the way tight. We just want to get him in and started, and if he does go tight, back him off just a bit. Now we're going to put our Stromberg tool down in here. I'm going to push on the barrel of the needle with my one finger and tighten up the my grub screw isn't tight enough. Demonstrations are never complete without a problem. So let me try this again. Try to see if I can get that grub screw down into place here. Oh, I had to stop there because the screwdriver was too small. So now we're going to put our grub screw in absolutely snugly, and we're going to tighten up our adjuster screw until it will not tighten anymore. Then take our shaft here, put it down inside, and smack that ring against the adjuster screw. And finally, for an initial setting, we're going to back the adjuster screw off here until the needle just lies about, I don't know if Andrew can come in here, lies just about even here. The barrel is just even with the bottom. That's a real nice place to have it. Say, I forgot to tell you what the drill was for when it was all apart. And if you're so inclined, you can run up inside here with a stiff brush and clean the inside of there if there's any contamination or rust, or you're afraid that you've scored up the inside of the piston. Anyway, that's the scoop. Then of course you just go ahead and reverse the procedure and put the diaphragm back on with the correct rotational alignment, the pieces on the top, put it all back together. The oil that you use in the damper, 90 weight gear oil. I know that flies in the face of everything you've always heard, and you go, I can't believe you're telling us to use 90 weight. But I am, and you'll love it.